Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Exactly.
Well, no, welcome to Riff and Revel. For those of you who may be new here, we're five friends who play D&D every week, Friday nights, right now. We do goofs, we do battle, we do lots of role play, and I'm Callie. I run this crazy group of hooligans, and try to bring this story world to life. So, how about everybody? Let's do roll call.
Here.
Here.
Joe, start.
Present.
Introduce yourself.
Hello. My name is Joe. I play the party's dwarf fighter. He's awesome. His name's Braddock. He's a short little ball of rage, and he's got a big old shield and thinks he's everybody's mom.
My name is Dave, and I play our elven wizard called Bravo Quarks. He does magic and stuff.
He's a short little ball of rage and thinks that he's everybody's mama. No, I'm kidding.
Hello, I am Travis. I play the group's druid who turns into animals, and not right now though, because he's all out of animal turning abilities. And he's great, and he talks like this sometimes and sometimes not.
And what's his name?
His name is whatever you'd like it to be. If it's carrion. If it's not carrion, then it can't be what you want it to be.
And I'm Lauren. I play this group's half-elf cleric named Nor. I got that one in there. She has had a couple of lucky hits, and I am happy to be alive.
I think at this point, everyone's pretty happy to be alive.
So which cardinal direction is her middle name?
She doesn't have a middle name.
All right, so we're making our way through Storm King's Thunder currently. This is our party, and they currently find themselves in Port Last. They were on their way from Luskin to Waterdeep, following a potential clue to all of the giant movement going on. Perhaps maybe something that will lead them to more information. Who knows? But they stopped at Port Last to hopefully drop off a stowaway, a small tiefling child by the name of Kierga. Unfortunately, when they landed in the town, it was being attacked by frost giants. And few harrowing battles left them depleted of resources and low on HP, with the exception of Bravo Quarks. And some of the militiamen of the town had had a theory that the frost giants were combative by nature, that they valued battle prowess, and that if the party were able to defeat the giant party leader, then they may be able to convince the rest of the giants to leave the town. So they went after them, almost got sidetracked when trying to sneak past another giant and got noticed. But they managed to take that one out and avoid getting smushed by the giant leader, who happened to hear the battle going down and chase them through the town.
I feel like sidetracked is minimalizing how two of us almost got disemboweled.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
Choice.
Every battle almost in this town has been close, to put it lightly. But they were successful. They managed to do some impressive damage with what little resources they had left.
Heck
Rocks.
yeah.
Summoned a limo horse to kite the giant leader around, which saved their bacon, most certainly.
We went classic MMORPG. Kited it around and shot it a whole bunch of times.
We just misdirected all the threat onto Braddock. It was great.
Yep, onto my back. Just right across Braddock's back. That's exactly what happened.
Yep. And they claimed the giant leader's horned helm and dragon hide cloak skin thing, and convinced one of the still living giants to pack up and go home. So that's where we find everybody today.
Get out of town.
I'm just going to bring it over to the map, even though all the battle's done. We're mostly just going to do things. I lifted the fog of war, so you can see the town in its entirety. It's empty right now, because I'm not going to... Well, yeah, the giants have left. They gathered their dead.
The game of imagination.
This is the game of imagination. I just wanted you to see the map, because Dave put a lot of time into it.
Looks really good.
Yeah, it looks great.
Well, I should say the map components were made by Venatus Maps on Patreon. He offered these for free. Yeah. Dave took the components and made them a map.
I assembled them.
He assembled it. Yeah. Credit where credit's due. But so this is Port Last. You can see the seawall on the, your south. It's technically west side of the town. Where you entered, there's a river dividing it more or less down the middle, and then the steep canyon walls surrounding the entirety of the town.
We saw so very little of it.
Yeah, you did. You saw about half.
This just tells me that there were a crap ton more giants waiting.
Yeah.
Possibly. Like they could
You don't know.
already. Yeah, we have no idea, but
Okay, when
we can guess.
When he yelled, when Giant Buddy yelled to evacuate the town or leave the town, did we hear any responses?
Yep.
How many?
Well, in fact,
more than this many?
You saw the procession as they were leaving, which was a tense and awkward situation. It took probably a good half hour for them to clear out the dead bodies as well. And including bodies, there were 20 frost giants.
Son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
Cool, so we killed like 2 of them and it nearly wiped us out.
We killed 5.
You killed quite a few, yeah.
Did we kill 5?
Yeah.
We killed a lot.
To be fair, almost every fight could have entertained the word barely.
You killed 6.
Holy crap.
Yeah, get dunked on, frost giants.
Let's not do that again anytime soon.
I'm pretty sure that we couldn't dunk on a frost giant even if we were all like stacked on our shoulders.
Yeah, no, they're pretty tall. So the frost giants packed up and left, much to the joy of the few townsfolk that are still around. A lot of them you had heard had been evacuated, so hopefully not as many have been killed as it may seem, but there's an eerie quiet now as the giants row their enormous boat back out to sea, and the townsfolk haven't quite returned yet. So what would you all like to do?
How many of the giants did we loot? Like 2? Damn.
We tried another one, but we didn't find anything. You're not pushing your button.
I was pushing the wrong button. Sorry. I think you looted 3, but I think you got something off of 3. I think you looted more. They just didn't all have anything.
I got gold.
Yeah, you want to check your spoils?
We got a pretty big chunk. Memory serves.
I got 10 platinum.
Do you just own this town now?
Yeah, it's just mine.
Platinum is only 10 gold.
That's still
Yeah.
a good chunk.
It is. Oh, I'm not saying it's not good, but it's not as much as it may seem.
It's not 100,000 gold. It's 1,000 gold. 100 gold? 100 gold.
10 times 10. Yeah.
Value of your
Words.
platinum just keeps on.
Just keep taking off zeros. You'll get there.
It's 1,000
But
gold?
it's lighter than carrying 100 gold.
Well,
Yeah.
I have 6 gold, so
So I know that North is going to want to go back to like the main center of town where we encountered those people that were fighting them off. So she's probably going to be on autopilot back the way we came, and definitely kind of like somber, solemn, but kind of aura. Probably don't want to mess with her.
All right, fair enough. There's not a lot in terms of movement around town right now. There are some civilians you see kind of like peeking out of like cellars, out of rubble, any sort of hiding place that they managed to find. Not many. There are a couple armed people, members of the militia, not ones that you had met previously, but there are some people. And as you make your way towards the inn, you can see them. You can kind of hear people moving around town. As the fog begins to burn away, you can start to see more and more of the town. And you can see the destruction that was left behind. Not every building was destroyed, but you can certainly see on the north side of the river, on the left side here, it was the wealthier part of town. The houses are bigger, better built, better materials. So this side of the town seems to have taken quite a bit of damage as the giants were ransacking. You can even see evidence of the previous attack where they had begun attempting to repair the previous damage. But some of the houses are untouched, a lot of the smaller ones. But the inn that you make your way back to has a big gaping hole in one side where the giant had plundered the enormous ale casks. So they might be a little light on the drink, but the rest of the building seems sound, and people do seem to be gathering there as sort of central point. So maybe not as soon as you get there, but a few minutes pass and some of the militia people begin showing up again. You don't see the person that you talked to before, but you do see a couple members of that group show back up.
Can you ping the inn building on the map? I think I know which one it is, but
Yeah, it's the one with the double veranda bit.
that bit.
Is that the name of the inn?
No,
the one with the double veranda.
the swinging sign over the door actually says the Cracked Mug.
Oh, that's an awesome name. It's huge, too.
Yeah, it's quite big.
The town certainly does have their priorities in the right place. The biggest building in town is the place where the most people can get.
Well, and also where the travelers can stay.
Yeah. It does have a look about it of maybe it used to receive a lot more care and attention than it does now. But based on what the captain had told you about the harbor filling in and big ships aren't able to moor there anymore, that perhaps the amount of travelers has decreased in the last few years. You don't know quite how long, but it still seems well taken care of, just a little on the lesser side. So
there's a bunch of
Go ahead.
militia here?
yes, they're beginning to gather. They're trying to take stock of people mostly, trying to gather together the survivors. They're sort of sweeping the town to make sure the giants are gone, to reinforce to the citizens that were not evacuated that it was safe to come out again. So they're
Does anyone
they're
look
still
like
busy.
they're in charge?
It doesn't really seem like it. Everything's kind of like the middle of a volunteer group, and the supervisor has gone for coffee, and nobody quite knows what to do, but they're trying to make the best of it.
So Carrion would motion towards the first militia person he sees who looks like they have some semblance of wit around them. Ah, yes. I just thought you should know that we managed to drive away the frost giants. We bested their leader and requested they leave. We ran into a group of militiamen who suggested that may work, and they set off some kind of explosion, some kind of distraction.
The person that you approach is a young female human with brown hair. She's got a big cut across her cheek, but otherwise seems unharmed. And she goes, "Oh, that was you. We were told to help with the distraction, but I didn't know if it was working when we saw a lot of frost giants coming towards us, but managed to hold out long enough. Thankfully you got them, I guess, because they would have definitely overrun us."
You did a fine job. Saved most of the town by the looks of it.
Well, that's yet to be seen, but I heard that quite a few people managed to get evacuated in time. Time will tell, I guess. Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Who is in charge here?
Well, our captain was in charge of covering the evacuation. Last I saw him, he was near the falls, but they were being followed by a frost giant. I haven't seen him yet, but I can go look for him.
Yes, I think that would be best.
I'm gonna go do that.
And your name, lass?
Oh, I am Zatan. Check my notes. So she just seems kind of shell-shocked. Like maybe she's a new recruit, but she wanders off and starts sort of lightly jogging towards the waterfall, the base of the river there. Stopping along the way when she sees other militiamen to ask about the captain, but she jogs off out of view for now. There is a small group of civilians congregating around the inn. There's a half-elf, male half-elf, with a black mohawk, kind of gathering people around the inn. They all seem to recognize him. Seems to be taking charge of the non-militia folk, and as he turns, you see his left eye is actually dead. Just white, milky, and there's a big old scar running across it. But he also seems relatively unharmed. Some scrapes and scratches, like a lot of the folk there. But he seems to be he seems to be in charge of the inn, because he's going in and out, like bringing out food and water for everybody. So he's running the show for now.
I was going to say maybe we should see about lodging, but I guess that depends on what the captain wishes to do from here. I don't know that I feel safe leaving Kirga.
North is gonna have watched the person that we talked to run away towards the falls, and she's gonna kind of snap out of it and turn to Carrie. Should we have followed her to go talk to the captain?
No, they have their mission and we still have ours. If we're to take care of Karga, we need to go and find her, I suppose.
She's gonna nod and agree with that. Priority.
Yes, I would agree with you, Braddock. Where did Bravo get off to? Is Bravo already gone?
Yeah, I meant to
Yeah.
ask.
As soon as you guys he would have stayed behind. So actually, you guys kind of just walked away from Bravo Quarks as he crossed the bridge, and he would have gone to the spot that our friends from the ship were hiding out at.
All right. Well, they were on the seaside of the wall, up sort of at the base of the cliffs, away from the footprints that had been left in the softer earth near the shore there, of the giants. But you find them, and Noga and Captain Zhao are sort of protecting a little alcove that they had found where Kierga was sitting, and they are relieved they saw the giants leaving, but they didn't want to leave just in case. But seeing Bravo, they come out of their hiding spot and enter the town with you.
Oh yes, hello. Well, the yes, the giants are gone now.
That is welcome news. Any casualties?
Well, yes, I can see how it would look. A little bit foreboding having only me come back, but I assure you, everyone else is alive and well, for the most part. Plus, this here is Reginald. And as you can see, the leader's accoutrements are adorned on him.
That's great news. And you took down the leader? That's what you said?
Oh yes, quite. See, well, I don't remember the name, but yes, the person suggested that perhaps if we could dispatch the giant's leader, then maybe we could, cut off the head of the snake, so to speak, and the rest of the giants would lose a heart and go.
Well, I am glad that is what happened then. Kudos to you all for killing a frost giant.
Oh, well, yes, it was team effort and all that, but it was more than one. It was more like probably about six or five or six. Yes.
That is very impressive. Clearly, your battle prowess was not understated.
Yes. Well, it seems these parts are dangerous, especially for one such small tiefling. I think perhaps we should escort the small one to the where is she going again?
That's a very good question.
Yes. Well, yes. It seems that perhaps we should find out that information.
Noga's standing there, very covered in blood, and she just sort of looks at you and goes, "Can we go now?"
Go where?
To the others?
Oh, yes. Yes. The others. Yes. I'm not sure where exactly they are. I came here post haste, and we got a little bit separate.
That does not seem surprising.
They're best friends.
Anyways, they walk along the road and eventually discover the people moving towards the inn, and they follow the traffic, and you all end up in front of the crack.
Hooray!
It's like that scene from Crocodile Dundee. Nobody can get close to each other, so they just yell messages back and forth amongst the crowd. Braddock tells Bravo that he loves him, but it gets relayed about 4 times between 3 people.
Yes.
North would have pulled her journal out and begun scribbling a bit of. I know she had scribbled a bit before, but continued to document things fresh in her mind about the shape of the horned helmet and the skin, and also about the shape of the town and the double attack and whatnot. So she's kind of like got her nose in her journal. And then also flipping between pages. She seems really concerned about it.
All right. As Bravo brings up the captain and Noga and Kierga, Kierga is just sort of like staring around, eyes wide at everything, kind of like ducking behind Noga's leg a bit, and just, all the townsfolk are dirty, and little bits of scratches, blood here and there. So she's kind of concerned, but Noga and Zhao don't seem too concerned anymore, so she's starting to relax, and then she sees all of you guys and relaxes even more. Although 3 out of the 4 of you look like you're straight out of a horror movie, like Carrie or something. You've just got blood all over you. North's armor is dented from where she took the blow to the chest. Braddock is like just blood soaked. Your uniform is in tatters at this stage.
Deli meat held together by armor.
Yeah. And carrying equally robes soaked in blood. Bravo has some blood splatter on him, but it's not his.
He's the cool guy. Don't worry, it's not his blood.
You don't get to over 900 by getting hit.
All right. So, what do you guys want to do now that you have a moment to breathe and think and rest?
North is going to kind of like look up from her journal and then suddenly feel like woozy because she's at a third of her life right now. And look around to the militia and ask, excuse me, whoever she can find that's right there.
There's an older male human walking past. He's balding on top. He stops and looks at you. Yes? Do you need anything?
Yes. Immediately, though, do you have a healer with you? I unfortunately cannot perform any more spells right now.
We had some healers amongst the people. We have not yet retrieved those evacuated, though. It'll be some time. Does anyone need emergency care?
We are the group of 4 that has taken on some giants in your town, so, maybe with the exception of 1.
Aye, there was one who was happy to volunteer our services, but not get himself down.
Very well.
I wouldn't exactly call it Emergency, though.
Braddock just turns to Carrion and throws his hands out. Really?
Braddock's at like 9 health.
Yeah, but he's not bleeding anymore.
Oh, okay.
He just bled a lot, but it stopped all of a sudden.
So North's gonna shoot him a glare because, of course, it's an emergency. And then she'll stop. So, estimated time on the evacuated.
We don't have contact with them at the moment. We're trying to establish contact. There are a lot of wounded. The healers are going to have to make choices based on need. I can't make those decisions. I'm sorry.
Okay, second, have you heard back about your captain?
I haven't seen my captain since before the evacuation. I saw Zatan going and seeking him out. She should be back shortly.
I wouldn't hold your breath. And about the first attack, were you here for that?
The attack last month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did that one go the exact same way?
Uh, we were able to put up a better fight when they first landed, but we had more people and our defenses weren't broken yet, so we were able to hold them for longer. This time, there wasn't quite as long of a defense to try and get people out, so we lost more people.
And I'm sorry for your losses, and I'm sorry for sounding possibly insensitive, but I'm trying to figure out the behavior of the. Have they ever attacked twice within a month before?
Not in my memory. Attacks aren't exactly uncommon, but from giants, this close together is unusual, at least for us.
I know this sounds strange, but does anyone here speak giant?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm just covering my bases, and she's scribbling things down in her journal. Thank you for your time. I won't hold you up any further. And she's going to turn and walk back to the.
Okay. He walks off.
Well, I suppose. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
Well, Braddock says, kind of just talking to the whole group. I suppose our next course is to try and find their leader, the leader of the militia, I should say.
Exactly what I was going to suggest, but something tells me he's probably not a.
We can only hope. We can only hope that he is still with us, not that he's dead. That's not. He says the next bit to a militiaman that's walking past. I do hope he's still alive. I don't mean that I don't think he's still alive. I'm sure. We should be moving.
Probably was expecting a different response out of North.
So as you all are kind of milling about, that half elf that was rallying the civilians comes around and has armful, like a big platter of food, and he's like passing out loaves of bread and small bricks of cheese, and he comes over to your group and offers out the food. You all look like you could use a good meal. Afraid it's not going to be a hot one just yet, but might hit the spot.
Yes, thank you. Greatly. And Carrion would take, he'd break off a piece of bread. He wouldn't take a full thing, and then a small brick of cheese.
Yeah, North would take what's offered to her, and then Leaf would pop out, and she'd kind of be like more feeding Leaf than she was herself.
Braddock would take more than was offered to him. Braddock's very hungry right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'd take some food as well.
So Carrion would kind of, as he's pulling the tray away, he would actually reach back and grab another thing of cheese and then the other half of his bread that he broke off, and then bring it to Kirga. Yeah, on second thought, I think I will be taking this after all. Thank you again. And he brings it over to Kirga and opens his hand and offers it to her. And while he's doing that, he speaks to the captain. So, what's the plan, Captain? This does not seem like a very safe place to leave a young lass.
Yes, this has certainly changed our plans. I agree we cannot leave her here.
Carrion is delighted. The corner of his mouth twitches a little bit.
Yes, well, I did not foresee a giant raid, but definitely no place for a child. They also likely do not have anyone to spare to take her out of the city. Looks like we will have to take her with us. Don't get me wrong, as she looks down at Kirga, I am very pleased to have you on my ship. Just, this is a dangerous world we live in.
Is there no way that we might be able to make sure the young one gets home properly?
I can offer passage to Waterdeep. My concerns still remain that the sea is a dangerous place for anyone, especially a child. However, given the situation that Portlast finds itself in, we cannot leave her here, so the only option left for us is to take her with us.
Thank you, Captain.
Nort's gonna kind of pipe up upon kind of seeing, the horse with the stuff, and she's gonna look at it, and then she's gonna look at Zhao, and she's gonna say, "Captain, I mean, you know this place, and I'm sure you know a little bit about the giants. Do you happen to know who might these belong to? We kind of killed them before getting their name."
The giant leader. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with the frost giant hierarchy.
His name was Rollness.
What? She's just gonna look at him.
Yes, Rollness. Don't ask me to spell it. I only speak giant.
You what? Oh, wait. And she's like having a moment, like, duh, you speak giant. It's been a day, guys.
Yeah. It's been a very long day for you all.
I was just sorry. She was gonna kind of like catch herself for a moment and just be like, I was just wondering if you had heard of any stories of leaders that might possibly fit to, I mean, a dragon scale cloak is kind of a thing. I don't know. And she's gonna like muttering to herself.
Certainly for us, dragon scale is very impressive. For a giant, perhaps it's still impressive. I know giants and dragons don't exactly get along. Perhaps they hunted it for sport. Perhaps they scavenged it off of a dead dragon that they found in the cold wastes to the north. I cannot say. it does seem important to them if the leader was wearing it. Perhaps it was a more practical thing, as dragon scale is very strong. I am not aware of any frost giant leaders. The first time I really saw a frost giant was their attempt to attack Luskin the day that we met.
Never mind. She's just kind of like be like, oh yeah, of course you didn't see them. Otherwise, they're the rest of the frost giants she didn't really see, probably very close walking by, so she wouldn't be able to know if it was the same. So she's catching herself before saying something stupid.
Braddock's been thinking this whole time, and on the way, like when there's a lull in conversation, he snags a passerby and talks to him so that the rest of the group can hear him talking to him. And he say, when was the last time the giants attacked? It was last month, was it?
Yes.
And when was the time before that?
I don't recall.
That's fine. Just when was the last time you can recall? How far back, or can you not recall the last time they attacked?
Well, there have been sightings of them, but back when our harbor was deeper, we had more defenses. We had a lot more ships. We were able to fend them off before they reached shore. So probably the last successful one was, I believe my grandfather encountered an attack. But there have been giants around now and again.
So 2 generations ago was the last
successful one, yes,
successful.
Yeah. Yes.
And Captain, when was the last time you remember Luskin ever being attacked other than the time we met?
Luskin is constantly under attack
By giants.
It happens, particularly in the winter months when the snow and ice are not quite thick yet, not quite impassable, but they're giant. Their ships are quite capable of breaking through some of the ice if it's not too thick.
So last winter then?
Yeah.
And he turns to North and Carrion and Bravo. And when was the attack on Nightstone? How long ago was that?
2 months ago? 3 months ago? She hasn't really been keeping count, but it's been fairly recent.
Braddock's just thinking to himself now. He's still trying to piece everything together.
But
it was about 2 months.
She's gonna kind of like where Braddock's going. She's gonna. I know that giant said that it is in their nature to do this, but it is not in their nature to do this so close together. And I really wish we could have gotten more information about the ordning instead of saying we know everything about it. She's gonna let that drop off venomously. Oh,
that's
you did. That's right.
Wouldn't know.
Well, what? But didn't someone else relay information?
We said we told you what the giant said, but nothing else. We didn't tell you what we said.
Okay, but you said that.
I asked about the ordning, and then I told North that the giant said it wasn't for small folk, and then North argued with me, telling me to get more information, and Carrion basically told her no, because he could kill us if we piss him off.
Okay, then I'm sorry. I'm misremembering what she should know. So she's just gonna her brain's just gonna be gears going. That's all. She's gonna be confused.
Yes, they're certainly more active. I mean, who's to say if it's maybe a gathering of giants and they're just raiding for supplies? I mean, they were taking food and coin, and I don't know what else they would be trying to prove by attacking the same settlement over and over. I can't imagine there's much honor in that.
We need to find out. Sorry, Kerry. We need to find out what happened in the giant community 3 months ago, by my reckoning. 2 months ago was the attack on Nightstone. A month after that was the attack here. And then the very next month was another attack here and in Luskin.
Well, only clue is whatever Zephyros left us, the ordning. If we can find any information about that. Maybe Waterdeep? It's a big city.
Braddock just starts asking passersby. He's like a little desperate. Do you know anything about the ordning? Ordning? Do you know the ordning? Do you know, like he's like 3 or 4 feet away from the party now, just like asking anybody. I assume he's just getting nothing but stares from like he's not going to find some other 900-year-old wizard who has a great memory and be able to ask him.
No, people are giving you a wide berth.
I just realized he's covered in blood too. He's just, hey,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
do you know?
pretty gross.
Nort's gonna like, he hit his head. Don't mind him, Britter.
You're embarrassing me.
Yeah, stop.
Embarrassing us in front of our new friends.
God, we really need their help.
So, Captain, what is the plan? I know you said you needed supplies. How long do we stay here, if at all?
Well, the fog should be gone in, if we're lucky, maybe an hour, maybe a little longer. Then we should be able to head out, since we no longer need to secure passage for Kierga. We will only need to purchase enough supplies for an extra passenger. We can leave as soon as the fog clears, or if you would like some more time, we could take a little longer.
I, for one, would request more time. I'd at least like to speak to someone in charge of this town and see if they have any more information for us. It is crucial to our mission here.
Yes, I would very much like to know if they've got any archives, especially any writings on different types of clans, or possibly even drawings of the things that have come.
Oh, yes. A library, yes.
Oh no, there he goes.
Yes, some extra time can be managed. We were preparing for about 4 hours here anyways, so while you do your research, me and Noga can look after the purchase of supplies, and then we can meet back here and then head back to the ship. So say 4 hours or so. Would that be enough time?
I would wager so.
I suppose in that time we could get a long rest in.
A long rest is 8 hours.
Darn it.
You can get a short rest in, but
Just don't walk in any tall grass, you'll be fine.
Especially if you don't have any Pokeballs.
Well, since we are on a bit of a time crunch, maybe we should go to the Waterfalls and see... Or, he actually didn't hear that, he just heard falls. So, we should go to the falls and see if we can assist in locating the captain.
All right, we will see you back here in a few hours then.
And then he looks to Kierga. Kira, are you okay with staying with the captain and Noga?
Yeah.
Okay, good girl.
Okay. So as you prepare to do some research, we will take a break here. Seems like a good place. So we're gonna go 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Well, let's say 15 minutes. We'll come back at 10 after. And in the meantime, before we head off, we'd like to do a shout out to our friend Anne over at Kajari's Curious Crafts. She makes awesome things like D&D terrain. She makes felt ornaments of awesome things. She makes like one-shots and all kinds of creative things. Yeah, there's her logo with Sir Mimsy. We encourage you to go check her out on the break. She's over at twitch.tv/curiouscrafts. Other than that, we will be back at 10 after. Thanks.
See you soon.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. Hope you're all refreshed. All right.
I'm working on it.
So, oh, there you go. Nom nom nom. All right. So you all are heading towards the falls in search of the militia captain. As your ship captain, Zhao Han, and Noga and Kirga go off to attempt to purchase some supplies. All right. So, easily enough, you are able to determine the direction of the falls. I mean, you can either follow the river or you can just follow the people. People are still streaming from that direction. And it's still a small stream of people. It doesn't seem like the bulk of the population is back yet. You hope that they're still not back yet, otherwise bad news. But there does seem to be a little more order coming about. The remaining militia people are getting more organized as resources are figured out, people are found, and orders are starting to come through. So as you make your way towards the falls, you spot some people near on the south side of the river. They appear to be militia as well. One of them seems to be in charge. You can't hear anything that they're saying because the waterfall's there and it's very loud. But you can see people moving about, and there is a figure who appears to be in charge on the other side, and they are currently giving orders to a group of militiamen. Actually, one of the people that is there is the young female guard that you came across earlier, Zitan.
So they're across the river?
Yeah, they're on the south side. You're on the north side. They're on the south side of the river by the waterfalls. So on the east side of town, the top of the map. I don't have them on the map yet. I just
Where never mind. North realized she made a mistake, and then she will kind of like double back and walk behind Bravo. So she'll catch up a couple moments after Bravo did.
all right. Yeah. So you approach, and Zatan catches sight of you as you're approaching, and kind of. But the figure you assume is the captain is talking with the other militia person next to her. So as you approach, they finish up, and the captain turns to face you. He is an older human male. He has curly brown hair pulled back into a short ponytail. He's got a slightly nicer armor on than the rest of the group, but he's got sort of a like a pin badge thing on his cloak that seems to denote him as the captain. So you approach, he finishes up his conversation, and then realizes that you're approaching and turns to face you. And he says, I assume you are the ones we have to thank for purging the town of these filthy giants.
Yes. Well, not filthy, but yes, we did end up beating the the ruler person, and yes, we are responsible for the giants departing.
Well, to be fair, we didn't do it alone. Your militia stepped up, came forward, and helped us out a great deal. Credit due to.
Yes. Well, is there anything I can do for you now?
Yes, we are looking for a library. Do you have perhaps a repository of knowledge in the town?
We have no formal library, but we have a hall of records that has some books, perhaps. What are you looking for?
North will pipe up. Perfect. We're specifically looking for archival events of the giant attacks.
You want information on previous giant attacks on Port Last?
Yes, we are very interested in the frequency of, and if anyone had specifically documented the types of people or giants that have.
I can't say if there's any sort of compendium of this information, but there are records kept of the town's history. There may be some information there. May I ask why this is interesting for you?
It was a bug, all right? I was killing it. Leave it alone. I don't like mosquitoes.
Quack, quack, quack.
Yes, we are seeking information specific to the ordning. Well, we hope specific to the ordning.
What is the ordning?
Well, yes, it's much to do with giants and the order of things. Where that's perhaps the reason the giants are attacking so frequently. Also, do you have in your knowledge repository records book place? Do you have spell books by any chance?
I have no idea.
Braddock's just shaking his head.
It's unlikely, but you could ask the record keeper. He may know.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything else you need while you're here? Will you be staying? Anything?
No, like it probably overlaps, and with North will probably overlap with others.
We came in on a ship, and unfortunately, we were leaving shortly on that ship as well.
I was curious as to how you appeared in the town. I thought perhaps you had come in and I just had not heard of your arrival via trading caravan or something, but ship makes sense, especially with this fog. That must have been quite a surprise.
Well, the giants were a bigger one, to be fair.
True. True. Well, I have to work at bringing the people back safely to their homes. If there's nothing else.
Yes. What do you have any magic users in this port?
There are a few, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Would you mind pointing them out to me?
Well, they're not currently here. We did manage to evacuate a good portion of the citizens. Shall I carry a message for you? Are you seeking anyone in particular?
Oh no. If they are not currently in the port, then the town port here. If they're not currently here, then no. That's quite all right. Just bid them hello.
I actually do have a matter that I'd like assistance with. A courier. I'd like to write a letter to the Emerald Enclave and send tidings of what has transpired here. If I leave this letter with you, do you have a way to send it to them?
Do you have a contact somewhere? I am not familiar with the Enclave's positioning.
Yes, the Arc Druid, I suppose.
I could send a messenger there, yes. I don't know how long it'll take for the message to reach them. A lot of manpower is going to be put into shoring up our defenses and rebuilding, but I have a couple reliable men I could send. She dwells in the high forest.
Yes,
Last I heard.
it's not. I mean, it doesn't need to be there post haste, so even if you were to hold on to it and send it with a passing caravan, I don't know if you have any of the sort that normally go to the high forest. I know there's not many.
No, their destination would not be the high forest, but we do have caravans that frequent the towns near it. I could get someone on board one of those and they could take it the rest of the way. Could be done.
All right, then. Before we depart, I shall have a letter for you. Thank you.
Very well. All right. The Hall of Records, he gives you directions to the building, and then I thank you once again for your assistance, and I bid you good travels.
Braddock had been like trying to get over it and edgewise this whole time, but like he didn't want to. Like he kept trying to start, but he didn't want to be rude, so he let the conversation keep going. And like as it's like well past the point where the conversation is over, he just like trots back to the militia people. Your healer, if you could point me in the direction of him, please.
Our healers
her.
are
Could be a her.
not yet returned. They were among those that were evacuated.
And
Good save.
where would that be?
Bravo, no, Braddock, no. Sorry.
That where they were evacuated to where would that be?
We're fine. It's fine. We'll
I'd like to imagine she's pulling him back.
She's literally like pushing him, like, it's fine. Yeah. We're badly hurt, but it'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yes, I will. Come on, Braddock.
He like gets led away by mommy.
By the ear, like, come on.
All right. So he pointed you in the direction. Let me just find the building. Yes, so the Hall of Records is on the south side of the river here, sort of middle. It's just a long house, kind of big old long building in the middle, pinging. Yeah. So he pointed you in that direction. Easy enough to find. It is the roof is damaged, but the inside seems to have been pretty much left alone once it was discovered that it was full of papers and books and not really useful things, apparently. But you go in, and inside there are two people. There is a small female gnome wearing an apron and is basically just covered in dust as she's running around picking up books, scrolls, loose sheafs of parchment and paper that had been blown around, had fallen from shelves. A couple of the shelves are broken from rubble. She's going around sort of collecting things off the floor, and the other person is a male dwarf. He's got very old dwarf. His hair is almost completely silver white. His big beard is braided into 3 thick braids.
A big bushy beard.
Yes. It's not quite bushy though, because it's in big braids. And he's also tidying up, but he's not as rushed, it seems. The small gnome woman is like running almost, like she's on the clock or something, but the dwarven man is taking his time. So as you enter, the door squeals open, and you can see like the sun shining through the hole in the roof, and there's like a lot of dust sort of sparkling in the sunlight. The gnome woman does not look up at all, but the dwarven man kind of glances over his shoulder and then double takes when he realizes he doesn't recognize you, and he turns and faces you. Can I help you?
Nope, that's not a good. You got to give me another dwarf. Nope. I'm
Yes,
kidding.
hello.
Read it.
My name is Bravo Quarks. I'm looking for some scrolls, perhaps magic incantations. Maybe some sort of arcane tomes.
In dwarvish, Braddock tells the other dwarf, "You'll have to excuse our mage."
You're looking for magic? This is a hall of records.
He's looking for magic. We are looking for some information on previous giant attacks.
Or any information you have on the ordning.
I don't think anyone knows what the ordning is, Carrion.
Yes, well, if we never ask, we'll never know. There's no point in skirting around the subject.
Seems like new information to me.
A record of spells or arcana, or there could be some records of famous wizards, or there could be some records.
There are lots of records here, Bravo.
Yes,
The
we're
shade.
mostly concerned with the records of Port Last. I have not heard of the ordning. There are certainly records of past giant attacks. Are you looking for any in particular, or just all of them?
All of them?
Well, to be specific, we are looking for ones pertaining to giant attacks, the frequency of giant attacks, when giants attacked, how giant attacks is my point.
He means all of them. He does.
At least ones within short time spans of each other, like this one and the one from the month previous. Did that ever happen before? Have they ever come that close together? Well, I mean, I don't know if you know, but if you can point us into that information.
We may be able to find something like that. Give me a few moments. I will check and see what I can find. He turns away and goes to a cabinet and starts rifling through it. And while he's doing that, the gnome woman kind of rushes by, and she's got like a pile, like almost taller than her, of books and scrolls. And she runs and puts it on a table, and then runs by again, and then finally notices you as she's like running by. And oh, hello. Hi. Um, are you in the wrong place? The, you're all covered in blood. Are you well?
Oh yes, well it's not my blood, but yes, thank you.
She wasn't talking to you.
We're as well as we can be, which is a lie.
We don't have much time until our ship departs, and unfortunately, leaves little time for tidying up ourselves.
Certainly. I need to pick up these. She just turns and continues picking things up. She is twitching the whole time she's not talking to you, or that she was talking to you, and turns and just starts scooping up more scrolls and gingerly placing them on tables.
After the way she acted, Carrion's kind of looking down at his cloak and his clothing and kind of like finding the holes from the attacks and like wiggling his fingers through, and then he'll cast mending and slowly just repair it all the way around until, I mean, it's still disgusting and dirty and bloody, but at least it's not full of holes.
Yeah.
Braddock notices that, kind of like slides up next to Carrion and kind of like says to him, but not even like, he like nudges him with the whole upper part of his arm. Do you have another one of those handy, if you don't mind? Just the uniform, just the old uniform. If you could spruce it up a bit, it's a few new holes.
Oh, magic, you mean?
Well, men to fix the holes,
Sure.
like you did there.
Yeah, it will take me a bit of time, but sure.
Do you need me too? Do you need it? And he starts pulling the uniform off.
Just leave it there, Braddock. Is there enough of it to cast mend on?
Yeah. There's between the armor and the uniform, like it's not in complete tatters. It takes longer than your robes did, but you can get it done.
I'd just do the not his uniform for now. Then, if you want me to take a look at the armor, I should. Does it look like I could fix it?
Not currently. You would need a lot more time.
No, but I mean, like, if I had the time, do you think I could?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to do anything about your armor until we get back on the ship, but given ample time, I think I could get it serviceable again.
I wouldn't worry too much about the armor. If we've learned anything here in Port Last, all of us are going to need new equipment, better equipment, and lots of it as well.
Yes.
I need more armor. I need a bigger shield. I need a sharper axe. Almost like under his breath, but he doesn't do it correctly. So it's like he just talks quietly. I need a better party.
Do you just expect a seagull to drop off new armor for you, Braddock?
Well, eventually we'll make it to Waterdeep, perhaps 2 years from now, but apparently we're headed there still.
Yes, and what happens if we get attacked again? I think it may behoove you to have functioning armor.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Do your repairing. I'm sure you'll do a grand job, but, with a grain of salt, we're going to all have to get new. What about you? What kind of armor can we get for you?
Leather.
I know leather.
What do you mean? I'm comfortable. This is how I am.
Yes, but if we could get you closer to the front, I don't mean side by side, shoulder to shoulder with me and North, but maybe front to back would be nice.
North's gonna look at him like, me and North, like, this is a thing? Like, we're a group? This is like a Simon and Garfunkel?
North and Braddock. Bridge over troubled waters, no.
Is this Ryan and Brig going on right now?
He's trying. I mean, you both have shields.
It's true, we do. I haven't even used my shield.
More like Torb and Brig.
Any more armor than I have on would inhibit the magic that I do, especially the shape-changing magic.
We should probably try and find you magic armor then. I wonder if there'd be any. And he just like trails off and just starts like walking away, thinking about buying magic armor. Like he's talking, but he's not talking to anybody anymore. He's just walk off.
He's in his happy place now.
Yeah. North's gonna look up and hope that something's been found.
He's basically Bubba Gump in armor right now. You could have tall armor and strong armor and leather armor and black armor with holes in it. You could have.
Yeah, so as he begins listing off all the different armors he could potentially use, the dwarven record keeper comes back and he has a decent stack of books, and he each book has a number of like bookmarks in them, and he puts them on a table nearby and he goes, all right, here I have found a number of records of giant attacks on Port Last in the last, and he looks at the books, 10 years or so. They are not very frequent, and as you see, he's sort of thumbing through quite a few pages between each bookmark. But here we have frost giants attacking from the sea, as today. Here we had some stone giants attacking our quarry. And this year we had some hill giants attempting to attack the town, but they were repelled before they reached our walls. We had much better defenses back then. Giant attacks.
She's gonna not mean to interrupt, but back then, this was 10 years ago, or this was like a couple months ago?
Oh no, the hill giants was about 6 years ago. The stone giants were 4.5. Not very frequent. We have more trouble with pirates before the harbor became too shallow for their ships. Quite frequently we have bandits and highwaymen who attempt to attack our trade caravans and nearby farming communities. We get a lot of creatures out of the sea that attempt to attack our harbor.
She's not gonna mean to be rude, but she's gonna be like, "That's all great, but I'm really focusing on the giants."
Giants, yes. Yes, they don't seem as frequent as this. Twice in a month is quite unusual for our town.
Was there any documentation or drawings of the like specifics of anything that anyone was wearing, like maybe the leaders or something?
Let's see. And he starts flipping through. Yes, well, record keeper here, the hill giants attack, apparently they are, not very sophisticated. They mostly seem to wear loincloth. Let's see, the stone giants. Oh, there's a crude sketch here. Well, their clothing is a little more advanced, but still quite simple. No documentation of any symbolism or anything standing out. Frost giants attack. Let's see here. Oh, yes, well, there's a note of their armor being rather patchwork. They seem to be focused on taking pieces of small folk armor or metal sheeting or anything they seem to get their hands on. They seem to piece it together.
Any like I know I had asked this question. I know it sounds quite absurd, but possibly anybody that speaks giant that could have maybe gotten a name or any bits of conversation.
Well, no one in town currently speaks giant. There's no note these previous attacks of understanding them. They, for the most part, it seems like the stone giants were the most sophisticated, if you could say that, of the giant groups that attacked, but
In sophisticated in that they had better tactics, or that they spoke.
They did not. Well, if they did speak common, there's no note of it, but they were more organized and they seemed less intent on killing so much as whatever their goal was. They attacked our quarry. They ended up walking off with quite a bit of our stone, our quartz.
What kind of a quartz?
Yes, we also have sandstone, but they seemed more focused on that and some of our tools.
So, how recent was the quartz again?
That was about 4.5 years ago.
Okay. And North's going to be scribbling in her notebook as he's talking.
And I'm assuming nothing on the ordning.
I found no mention of the ordning in any of the index entries. Perhaps the giants were talking about it, but none of our previous or current record keepers speak giant, so...
North's going to mumble under her breath, well, maybe they should somehow learn. But it's like more to herself than anything. It's like she's more concerned for their safety than actually being like a salty stab to their ego.
Well, so we've learned that the attacks are not frequent at all. 2 within a month is very rare. So we haven't
and
really...
the quartz, Carrion, the quartz 4 years ago. She's like focused on it.
Yes, I'm sure the quartz was very important 4 years ago, yes. Well, thank you for your time, record keeper. If you'll excuse me. And Kyrian goes outside.
Before you all leave, the gnome woman comes up and to Bravo, she says, I heard you asking about magic books, and though I couldn't find any, we do have this strange tome that nobody seems to want. Would you like it?
Oh, yes. Yes. And I would sort of take it in my hand, and what's on it?
It's a very old looking book. The leather cover is starting to like crack. It hasn't been taken care of, but you can kind of make out the words in it. It's called it says The Art of Dissection. And as you flip it open, there are some old but detailed sketches of like scientific, medical sketch kind of stuff.
Oh,
Give it to North.
This is most fascinating. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes.
Are we starting our own little serial killer here?
Chili dissects dead things. First of all, nothing about killing them to make them dead. She just dissects the dead. So
Yet.
That's how they all start.
Yeah, how they get dead is, another question, but yeah, so she just kind of nods and is like, yeah, it's kind of a creepy book and I don't want it anymore here, so thank you. And she runs off again.
Oh no! Thank you.
All right, anything else that you guys would like to accomplish?
This whole time, Braddock's been wandering through the shelves.
There's a lot of books. Most of them just have like dates on them, like years or months, and seems to be just a lot of old records of the town. There are scrolls and things that seem to be messages between towns or people, or like declarations that were made in town, things like that. Yes, North.
So North is then going to start getting curious, especially, obviously fixating on the courts. She's going to ask about the. Thank you for all the information on the Giants. Now, about Port Last, I know that in the last, we can tell some time, you haven't been getting as much business, but what else made this town? Was it courts that made it so profitable? I mean, this is a fairly decent town.
Our quarry is certainly a big part of our economy. The quartz is minimal. We don't have a rich supply of it. It's more of a luxury good that we are able to produce in small quantities, but our sandstone quarry is definitely a draw for those searching for large quantities of building materials, things of that sort. There's a lot of trade caravans coming through for our stone. We do have a fairly decent fishing business as well. That is mostly used to sustain the town, but there are some traders who trade in those goods as well.
Thank you. She's gonna be done with questioning.
Braddock comes out from the shelves, and he walks over to kind of the group that's still here, and he's got this puzzled thinking look on his face. Say, if you had to pin Serac to a certain age, how old would you say Serac was? Just, humor me here. If you had to guess at how old Serac was.
It's just you and North in the shop.
Yeah.
Record hall.
Yeah.
Gosh. You're asking me human years.
Yes, a dwarf and an elf trying to.
Talking about humans.
A half elf who is 40 and thinks she's 16. Well, is about 16 maturity. 20? Is that a reasonable age?
It could be. It's as reasonable as anything else. Come and give me a hand real quick. Just come with me. I've. And he looks at the dwarf as he's walking away. He's kind of like raising his voice as he walks. These are all done by years. Yes.
Yes.
Right. Right. So, 20 years ago, and he's going back and he's looking for the records from about 20 years ago.
North's gonna humor him and walk with him.
Yeah, easy enough to find. There's, the like 4 or 5 books that span like 2 or 3 years about 20 years ago. They're all pretty big books.
Yeah, he's gonna pull. About exactly 20 years ago, and then like off a year, plus or minus. So I guess about 4 books in total.
Okay.
And he's like, since they're big, they're probably like a little too. They're awkwardly too big for him. So hey, here, take these, take here, take these two here. And then
she doesn't have a choice. She's gonna grab them.
he's gonna rush over to a table and start laying them and start going through them. Specifically, what he's looking for is to see if Sirac's dad was here in the town. If there's any record of his dad going
What's
through.
the name?
See if I wrote it down.
Gotta know what you're looking for. Why don't Braddock and North make an intelligence check?
Ah, shit. Why did it have to be intelligent?
Oh boy.
Oh, thank God. I'm
Whoa.
fucking smart. I have it written. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Art of December.
Art of December. It's right here. Look. Travis, validate right here.
I would, but my eyes don't see that far.
Okay, it's
All right,
It's
so
right
North, as he's like flipping through looking for reference to the name, you kind of take a moment and your brain starts kicking in from the giant stuff back to what he's saying, and you realize like Sirac said he was from really far south, and if you're looking at the time that he was born, his dad probably wasn't anywhere near Portlast in that time frame.
I would imagine it would dawn on North quicker than it would Braddock. Like Braddock's just like looking for something that's not there, but he's not giving up because he's stubborn.
Braddock, are you thinking what I'm thinking in like regards to maybe that person that has the giant ring, artist Simber?
Well, like, that's his name. I was just flipping through pages trying to come up with a name. Hoping I would just see the name written down. Long shot, I know.
I don't think that this is quite the correlation we should be looking for, as he's from somewhere. Especially when he was born.
Hey, you're right.
Assuming the father was,
Yeah, you're right. It was a long shot anyway.
Was there anything else of interest that maybe...
He closes the book and just yells
we're
like
done.
at both of the clerks. There's no one here with the last name Simber, is there? Nope. We'll be going. I'm sorry. We'll be going. Nope. It's all right. That's fine.
All right.
It was worth a shot.
Nora still has the books,
Yeah, no, Braddock's left them. Braddock's just left the books on the table.
You can just leave those. That's just put them down.
He's gonna be ginger about it because they are 20-year-old books, if not more, and just be like, okay.
All right. So you all leave the Hall of Records. Anything more that you need to do before you meet up with the captain?
Nope. But if we have any downtime in our future, whether it's with the captain or while we're waiting for the captain or whatever, Carrion is going to be looking for a small plant or flower of some sort that he can, or sprout that he can take and replant in the bottle of his greater healing potion. He intends to take it with him on the ship.
Easy enough to do. There's a lot of small flowers or little plants that would fit. Takes you a little while to like gingerly get like the dirt and the roots and things in through the bottle, but you get it done.
North knows that valuables are being taken in the correspondence or correlation of the rich side being kind of rated as opposed to the other side. Would she know like exactly what kind of riches, or can she start asking about what kind of riches? Is it going to be like strictly gold or gems, or is it something that is valuable but sort of like off?
I mean, you could start asking around. In terms of what she saw, it just like it's hard to say what was missing without knowing what was there to begin with.
It's
there
just
were
gonna be on her mind then.
Yeah, I mean, the one giant that you looted from, who was on the north side of the river and the rich side, his pack was much fuller than the other ones, but I mean, what you found in there was, I mean, a lot of money, but the items seem to be well made, but plain. So, like, I think it was mostly foodstuffs that you found. And
I mean, we found a stack of gold and then we found the stack of platinum, but we probably wouldn't be able to determine if that was taken from here.
Well, I mean, you certainly wouldn't be able to tell if it was from Port Last or if it was from one house or another. Certainly the coins you found on the boss giant, you couldn't tell where that was from because he didn't have like a big old loot sack the way the others did. Yeah, but
I'm just going to keep that in the back of my mind, just the trying to keep track of maybe the possible types of things they're taking.
Sure. Yeah. What did you all get? I forget.
I got like a chunk of gold. I don't remember how much it was, but it was a bunch of gold. I already added it. So
you found a bunch of items too, didn't you?
No.
I got white dragon scale and a bunch of gold and platinum.
An ever-dwindling stack of platinum.
Oh, okay. All right,
we missed something.
We'd have to go watch the VOD, but I'm fairly certain that I just got gold. Nothing else was of importance.
Yeah. I remember I helped Bravo search the giant boss, but that's all we found.
Okay.
So we've missed something, guys. It's great. It'll be haunting us forever.
You don't know that. Maybe we didn't miss anything.
But she just asked, "What did you get?"
and then she went, "Oh, okay."
So either we forgot something or she forgot to tell us.
No, I'm pretty sure we didn't kill the right giant.
Remember how there were still 14 giants that we could kill? Yeah.
I don't know. All right. So you guys accomplished what you wanted to. So we'll end that.
There real quick.
Tonight.
Did you see the letter, Carrion's letter that he left to
yes.
the captain? Okay. He would do that. That is what he needs to do.
Easy enough.
It's in chat.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's just an update on the giant attack and things to his Emerald Enclave leader. So yeah, that's where we'll end it for tonight because it's a good ending point, and it's time.
Another time not in combat. Oh, it feels so safe.
Yeah, you guys have had like what 4 weeks of combat? Just
feels so good and cozy inside.
Yeah, it's been a while. This was a long one, but really, really cool. You guys survived. I wasn't sure that you would, but you did. Good job.
For that vote of confidence there, Cal.
I don't know what's
wasn't
gonna
sure
happen.
we were gonna survive either. Like I was like, North's gonna run the fuck away if everyone's dead. By the way, bye guys.
Yeah, to be fair, Callie was just following the curve of the rest of the group.
Well, plus, in the first few weeks, I was rolling pretty good, except on my saving throws for some reason. My damage rolls were horrendously good, and then last week, nada. I was rolling nothing.
Justice.
Wonderful.
Things could have been very, very different. Sometimes the dice change how things are going to work out.
Did I ever find that rock?
No. You
Run.
you found the inspiration from within to just nail him in the Anyways, that'll be us for tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'll be back here next Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, playing Storm King's Thunder again, unless, something should happen. But
That's 4. That's
4 weeks in a row. Unless
Is that even allowed?
Yeah, unless I go totally insane from school, then we'll let you know. But otherwise, we will be here. We hope to see you again. You can find us on social media. All the links are below. We're on Twitter. We're on Discord. We're on YouTube. We have Tumblr for journal entries from the perspective of the PCs. So you can hear from Braddock and Bravo and Carrion and North and see how they've been feeling and thinking about all that's been going on. They're not quite caught up to present, but you can go back and see that. And I think that's it. Any other announcements? I think
We love all of you.
Yeah. So we appreciate your support, and we hope to see you next week. Have a good night.
Take care,
Have
everyone.
a good weekend.